Hare Krishna, everyone. So here we bring you episode 3 of Swabhav Vichar. And with here we have Shri Radha Govind Dasi here with us. Welcome Mataji, Hare Krishna. And just to introduce Mataji is a psychotherapist, a certified mediator. She is also a career counselor and she is an astrologer, and she has a website also. Maybe we'll link it sometime here. And yes, and Mataji is excellent with personality analysis, and that's what we are doing. We are using personality analysis here with parenting. So here we start. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for always enlightening us with your, I can say, with the dialogues that we are having, and it's really helping so many parents around the world.
Thank you so much, Lakshana. And yeah, I've been getting very good feedback. So thank you to the devotees who are listening to this and sending me personal private message and also finding some use from this. So today we'll be speaking, today will be a shorter session as the short time of preparation our kids have actually when they get into the world. So I'm going to get right into it. See, when our kids are allowed to go into the education system. Thank you so much, Lakshana. And yeah, I've been getting very good feedback. So thank you to the devotees who are listening to this and sending me personal private message and also finding some. I hear our conversation running somewhere.
Yeah, Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji. I think it's sorted now. Yeah.
So we can see here, this is the education system today, okay? Everybody is just put into the river and then it's like swim, go, rush and study math, study science, study social studies, study this language, study that, this is that pressure of everybody into the race. It's like a race towards who knows what, right? We don't even know what we're chasing, but we're all running. And it becomes even more important, therefore, the parenting is where actual education takes place, actual training takes place. Because after that, people find their own, let's say, orientation, different subjects that they like. And, our kids some go into sports, some go into communication, some go into psychology. I'm finding more and more in my service as a career counselor that kids have a very difficult time figuring out what is their value, what they actually like doing, what is their purpose. Because in school, what we just saw, everything is just a rat race. And then at home, if parents don't have sattva guna nature, then it becomes very difficult to for the kids to orient themselves, to find a place for themselves in the world. Because the parents also bring our own baggage, right? So that's what we've been talking in the past 2 sessions about the importance of parents themselves being together. You can watch the other episodes to find some clues about why that's important and all that. But today we'll be focusing on this particular aspect of parenting where what's the essence code going down to the children when they're like, okay, well, the world tells them after they get their degree or whatever, go get started on your path, go. And then and the kid is like, oh my God, and it has all these issues. No, the world's so hard and I'm soft omnivorous clouds. I mean, this is like a creative representation of the kid's mind. What if everyone finds out I'm a fraud lightning bolt? I got a hunch. I'm going to do something big. Horizon sparkles. There is some hope. There is some confusion. There is some anxiousness. There is some excitement. No, there is a mixture of adventure. And then, oh, what's this health insurance? Oh my God, what does this mean? And what does that mean? Kids get exposed to the whole world, adult world. And as parents, we haven't really been there. So we'll talk a little bit about the power of how, if you do right parenting, it's not, you don't have to worry about what subjects they'll take up, how they'll face the world, what job they'll do. You don't have to worry about those things. These 3 things that we're going to discuss today will be the point. This is a concept from Bhagavatam, and this is a Krishna conscious understanding of how our way of parenting can empower our children. Okay, so there are 3 powers that you all have as parents and also as teachers. The first is Dravya Shakti. Okay, nourishing with things. Dravya means objects, tangible things. And in this picture, we can see, for this is just an example picture. You see this kid has a bicycle, and then there's this tram, and you know, they have nice shoes, they have nice clothes, the kid has a nice hat. So this is just a small, tiny example of parents need to provide children with basic facilities, basic things that help in that nourishment. Okay, and Dravya Shakti is the power of objects, the power of things to make us feel nourished. Having said that, Dravya Shakti is, however, in the mode of ignorance, which is required, like we need sleep, and sleep is in the mode of ignorance. So similarly, objects are, it's like the, in the chart of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Tamas is that layer of objects, things as tamo guna aspect, but it's required. It's it makes children feel a sense of, oh, I am secure on the body level, I have right things to wear, I have a cycle, or I have things, you know. And some kids have more need for such things. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to, why is it, oh, here. I'm sorry. Okay, so some kids have more the need for things. No, the kids are like, where is this? I want this for my birthday gift, and I want a new dress, and they constantly have that need. And sometimes it's the parents, they have that dream or illusion that I have to give my child things, and things is the way I do parenting. That's the way. But it's not the way. It's only, it's only part of the equation. Okay, so what is the full equation? Then comes the Kriya Shakti. Okay, doing things for your children, reading books with them, going out on beach or something, taking them on vacation. Action-based nourishing, doing things for your kids that nourishes their sense of identity, that nourishes their ability to move around in the world. Okay, because when they go to a job, for instance, if you've done things for them, they develop a wholesome sense of personality. And then when they are out in the world, they know that I'm not going to just look for a job that gives me money so I can get a car. It's not their focus. But if you've only given things and made them feel that having is what is most important, then the kids will get more attached to having, which means money, which means title, which means power, which means position. All that is Dravya Shakti. It's all based on tangible things that you want to hold to, you want to cling to. But Kriya Shakti gives the child the ability to understand, what do I actually like doing? Wait a minute, I know this job gives me good money, but do I really like doing it? And the kid will not have the deeper sense of understanding unless parents have given them the time to do things with them which is fun, which makes the child feel good. For example, playing, maybe playing ball, or playing badminton, or playing volleyball, playing on the beach, running, doing things which makes the kid have an experience with the family that allows them to see what actions nourish them. It's very, very important to have that balance, to do things. And so, Lakshana, if you have anything you can jump in, like, for example, if you have a example or a story that comes to your mind, because I often like your examples.
Sure. I just wanted you to complete the equation,
Okay.
and then we can go in for a discussion.
Perfect. So this is doing things, okay? And some children will ask you for that when they're younger. See, there's two babies here. That's the age that you can actually sit them down, do things with them. But once they become teenagers, it's harder to get them, drag them, make them sit down and do things with them. And I remember last episode, Sulakshana was sharing about helping her daughter do things with her in the kitchen, action based thing that gives that sense of experience. This is all based on experience, and this is doing. The previous one is having a good school, having good stationery, having good bicycle, having good clothes. All that is on the level of having. Okay, and this is doing, reading, dancing, uh, walking, sports. All this is action based, doing. And then we come to Gyana Shakti. It's a tricky one. It's the Gyana literally means knowledge as well, acquiring knowledge. And the literal translation closest in English would be being there. And being there is way superior to Dravya Shakti and Kriya Shakti, because Gyana Shakti is not about you giving wonderful school to your children. It's not about pushing them to study a particular subject. It's not about buying best encyclopedia for your kids. Don't mistake giving books as knowledge. No, not that's not about that. The Gyana aspect is who are you? What is your identity as a parent? No, that gets transferred to the child when you're there. You're not doing anything, you're not giving anything, but you're actually being there. And that's the core essence of parenting. This ability to transfer who you are, that knowledge, to your child. That's the Gyana Shakti. Then they're able to feel, because it's not only our DNA, our blood that flows in our children's body, okay? It's also our sense of being, that identity, that sense of character. And sometimes, especially girls, when we don't have that, we look for it everywhere. We look for that. We look for that father figure in men. We look for that mother figure. We constantly look for that nourishment. Oh, somebody, like I was saying also in the other episode, some guy tells a girl who has low self-esteem, oh, you're looking so pretty. And then, she imagines that to be, oh, he's there for me. He observed me. He looked at me. And then she falls for it. Why? Because she didn't get that being there of the parent. And also very, very important, being also includes, it's not the words you tell the kid, you're very smart, you're very pretty. It's not that. That's again doing. But this is about, they know it by the way you're feeling it. So Gyana Shakti has to do with you improving yourself, and then being there for the child. It gets transferred. The children know if you are proud of them or you're embarrassed about them. If you are looking forward to them growing as individuals, or you're trying to make them into who you want. See, this is the Gyana Shakti aspect of parenting, and it has to be balanced, and it's in Sattva Guna. Kriya Shakti is in Rajaguna, and Gyana Shakti is in Sattva Guna. So we need to be in Sattva Guna to be there.
So Mataji, when we put it as a equation, so is it they all should be equally balanced, or which should be more or which should be less, anything like that?
Usually the Dravya Shakti is the easiest. Go to the shop, throw some money, you get good stuff, and you give to your child. In one sense, very, very dysfunctional homes even don't have that. Some parents don't even have the ability to give that. But in general, that's not the problem. But the problem is, maybe for Indian people, Indian parents, the problem is giving too much importance to Dravya Shakti, which is a problem. We become too, because it's easy, right? So we think that's parenting. I've given so much to our child. I sent you to the best school. And so that's the over dependence on Dravya Shakti.
Yeah, I can completely relate to this because I think last week we were in Dia's drawing class, and we met a child. He was just 13 years old, and he was explaining to all the kids around him that how much can you earn from a YouTube, and he was constantly fidgeting with his phone, and he's explaining things from the phone. You can do this, you can do this much money will come in. And then he's discussing about Instagram, and he's discussing about with this drawing, how can we make it viral, and how can we earn money. And then he was also discussing that I have the best pen and I have the best pencils to the shading, and he was just showing it off. And all the kids were not very much interested in his talk, but as a parent, when we were sitting there, because we don't have any option during this COVID times, we don't go out, so we had no option but to sit in the class along with the child. So we were just listening, overhearing the entire thing, and we were just thinking that what would be the mindset at the house? What were the parents thinking? It's fully concentrated on material things. How can you earn money? How can you earn money? And it's only 13-year-old child. And we were like feeling very sad.
Yeah, probably the child is not given, they don't do much activities that he has good experience, because he thinks that, or his experience is okay, you provide things, that's what family life is about. He may not have much fun with the family, he doesn't have an experience of what means being with the family. I remember when I was a child, my grandfather would do a lot of things with me, games, singing songs, taking me to the temple, taking me to different temples, explaining different things. That's the luxury of having grandparents as well. Because, and my grandfather was very, very much Gyana Shakti. He didn't have much money. He couldn't buy me things. And uh, I didn't even think, as kids, we don't really think about things much unless the parents are, if our friends come and show off, then we may think, but usually our focus is not there, we don't think like that naturally. But my grandfather was very much there. He was present. He wouldn't say much, but he was always there, reliable person, that just his presence, just by thinking of him, I feel that energy, because he had a very rich inner life. This is another key word for Gyana Shakti, rich inner life. Because if you as a parent have a rich inner life, then you're able to give that being there aspect to the children. But if you have a very superficial, if you, meaning a parent has a superficial life, shallow life, everything is based on title and power and how much I'm earning and society and status, also about which hotel we go to, where, it's, if it's all about that and you don't have a rich inner life, you cannot be there. So your question about which is most important is Gyana Shakti, because if you can be there, you will do things and you will give things. But if you go the other way around, you'll get stuck here.
Mm-hmm.
If you start with Dravya Shakti, it's very tempting. It's never enough. Dravya Shakti is never enough. You always want more and more and more and more and more. It's never satiable. Even doing is mode of passion. It's never enough. How much of it do? You read a lot, but if you're not present for the child, it's only, the reading is more an action. It's not really like a character building thing.
Mm-hmm. So, Mataji, I have a question. I hope I'm not going off track. But I had a question. Like, I see some kids when they are, especially in the age of 6 to 9,
Mm.
they have this habit of stealing. They don't want anyone to know what they have stolen, and they would steal and then silently keep it with themselves. So, is it something to do with the Dravya Shakti? Mataji, you are muted.
Sorry, there was somebody at the door, so I was trying to get. Okay, this is a very, very crucial question. And Sulakshana, we will actually go through this in our next session.
Okay.
We'll go through this about especially the ages. Astrologically, there is a very important information. For example, from 0 to 1, moon is the planet which actually influences and what happens in that phase. And then from 1 to 2 years old, then it's the Mars energy. And then, there is a whole transition, the cycles of what planet influences, and based on that planet, what is the need of the soul, what is the need of the child. So we will go through the cycle, all of them, next time, because it needs some explanation. But what I want to say is we need to go back. It's not only about that age, what you're talking about. If dysfunctionality is happening in that age, it's because it's because in the earlier, like 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old, there was some deficiency due to which this dysfunctionality appears later.
Okay.
We will again like talk more about it. I think every parent should know this. And I've been thinking, it's actually one of my meditations since I'm working as career counselor and dealing with parents, dealing with children, to write about all these things, make artwork, make videos, make that we're doing right now. Thank you to you. Make books which gives different tools for parents, to understand it. And when we will be speaking about personality types in Enneagram, we'll start it next week when we'll start talking about the ages, because we'll already come to the numbers and we'll already come to the planets, what planet rules specific type of parenting. So we will start it next week, but next week will be the main focus will be on this aspect, or the question that you asked, ages. What is the ages and what are the influence? And we'll introduce the topic of personality types. But that time, this will be very crucial to understand the Dravya Shakti and the Kriya Shakti and the Gyana Shakti, because every parent has their own style of Gyana Shakti, their own style of Kriya Shakti, their own style of Dravya Shakti. Like, imagine Dravya, right? Dravya Shakti. Some parent thinks, oh, bicycle is very important. Another parent may think, no, we have to get a phone to the kid. See? So the value system, when we'll talk about personality types, we'll speak why a specific personality has a need for specific thing. And about the stealing thing, I have also seen in some cousins and some kids that I've seen them growing up, that not all kids, but some do have that. And it's deprivation in the early years that makes them feel that they don't have enough, they don't have nourishment. And so they try to take that. That's the age where they're trying to feed themselves with the Kriya Shakti and the Dravya Shakti.
Uh-huh. This is interesting, Aditi, because I am very much interested in this Dravya Shakti, because like when I will pick books for Diya, my Prabhuji would select something else, mostly some electronic items for my daughter. So we are always wondering, like she gets both of them, and I see that she is attached to both of them. So yeah, that's wonderful to know actually.
Yeah. And then it depends on her karma or her inclination of the Dravya Shakti as well. Some people are into collecting books, some people are into collecting gadgets, some people are into collecting stationery, right? We all have our own Dravya Shakti addiction. But one thing I want to say about Dravya Shakti is what really helps is few things, but good quality things. If you provide for your children, it's much better than giving them too many things. And if you have good quality of fewer things, whatever it is, toys, clothes, they can develop that importance of quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
You can give that value to your children, but we need to have it to give it.
Yeah. And Mataji, when we come to Kriya Shakti, so you said about doing. So this doing can be anything, right? It's not only about taking them out, but it can be like cooking with them,
Yes,
or doing things with them, like exercising with them, or I don't know. There are so many activities we can do with kids actually.
definitely. All those things you mentioned.
Yeah. And then
But the
Mataji,
point is,
how this Kriya
exactly,
Shakti, how why this Kriya Shakti is it's so important. I feel sometimes like it's related to a little bit of Gyana Shakti, because I feel that when we do something and kids are watching us doing those things, and then they take interest in it, and somehow it is related to Gyana Shakti.
it is. Thank you for bringing that up. It is very much connected because your Gyana Shakti, depending on your ability to be there, your motivation. Okay, Gyana Shakti reveals your motivation. Say reading books, okay, simple thing as reading book. If your motivation is to be there for the child, to give Bhagavatam stories or Ramayana stories, okay, you want to be there when that knowledge is being transferred from scriptures to the child. You can do that in Sattvagun, Rajagun, or Tamagun, right? And in Tamagun, you can try to stuff the story in, and like be don't care whether the kid is enjoying or not, and do that in that way. In Rajagun, it's all about what do you remember the names? What is the story? Being passionate about it. But in Sattvagun, you don't care how much you cover. You don't care about the quizzes. You're every day there, 15 minutes. Your motivation is to share that knowledge with the child, to be there for the child. So that motivation reflects in your ability to do.
Mm.
So while doing things for kids, Gyana Shakti is what will be the motivating factor. Why
Yeah.
are you taking the kids out on beach? So you can show off to the community people how cute dresses you have for the kids, or or you're trying to take pictures and put it on social media to show what a great time you had with your kids. That's again very much in the mode of passion. But you can do things. You leave your telephones at home. You take the kid. You want the kid to have a good experience, right? Then that's a different way of doing things for the kids, being there for the kids.
Mm. I completely get this, Mataji. Now I understand why people post so many pictures on Facebook. Not sometimes one or two, but I see people posting 30, 40 pictures, and it's very difficult to actually go through each picture and comment when they are expecting it, especially.
Yeah, it's also insecurity, because they didn't have maybe enough attention. Oh, yeah, this is very important, Lakshana. Good you brought this up. First of all, it's very sad, okay, trying to cry for attention, just, the social media. Second, we tend to do that because we didn't get that being there of our parents. So we are expecting the doing of our friends and relatives. We want them to comment on our photo. It's like a passionate way, passion, expecting that Kriya Shakti from others, right? And
Okay.
you're unable to be there for your kids, and you can't really feel the being there of whoever. And usually being there is very satisfying. Like, I have that personal experience with my grandfather. Just I would just sit with him and we wouldn't do anything. We would just be sitting. And that itself was fulfilling. I did not need anybody to see me sitting with him, or I mean, in the modern day context, he was not thinking of taking pictures and showing to everybody, or it was not that. Just the experience of being together is so fulfilling, even as couples. When you're with your loved one, there is, if you're in Gyana Shakti mood, if you're in Sattva Guna, there will be no need to take pictures and post it on Facebook and get that attention. That's the whole thing, is the Kriya Shakti thing. It's trying to put the picture there so you can get response from others, typing good things and emojis and whatever, because we have that need for that attention. Why? Because we didn't get it, maybe.
This
So
applies to the adults as well, because yeah, this is very relevant point.
especially adults.
Yeah.
If we are thinking as adults, if we are thinking, oh, I want my friends and family to know what a cool time I had, and we have again, you see, putting pictures itself on social media can be done in three modes, right? In sattva guna, you put it there because you want certain friends and whatever to see, to bless you, whatever, you know that. But to do it in rajas is to kind of show off, which attracts envy. People become envious when they see cool pictures of you in the beach with your family. Some people are single people, they didn't get married, they may never get married. They may feel very jealous looking at family pictures. A lot of people feel very envious, and it hurts them. They become insecure, and what you get, the people who put pictures, you attract only envy. You don't actually attract attention. Like this boy that you mentioned, he was like showing off, you see, this is my pen and I have this and I'm this and that. He's thinking that people are going to like him, but people are annoyed by him. People are just like,
Yeah.
God, this kid is like such a show off. So and some kids may feel insecure, and they may feel like, oh, my parents didn't buy me that, and he only attracts envy. And of course, in tamoguna, like I said, it's very destructive thing mm, to post pictures, having an intention, having a motivation that we have such low self-esteem that we depend on others. We depend on others to make us feel seen, because
Yeah.
we are not present for ourselves, we are not present for our children, we are not present for our parents. It applies to everybody. It applies parents to child, it applies child to parent. I remember this mother and daughter. The girl was constantly on the phone, and she had no attention to pay to the mother who was trying to be there for her. So even if the parent is trying, sometimes the kid is not there. And sometimes the kid, when they're younger, the kids want you to be there. But then as a parent, you may have been on the phone or busy or
Yes. Understand. Yeah. So Mataji, this is a hard stop. I think we have to take now, because today was a short session, and I guess
yes.
you have to jump into the other session. Yeah.
Yeah, I have another appointment. So next week, stay tuned. Next week, we will be discussing ages, what age, what the child needs, so we can give that so that we don't look for it for the rest of our lives. And as parents, also, we can look back at our parenting and what our parents gave and what they didn't give, and go and pray to Krishna to give us that so that we can consciously imbibe those nourishing qualities and we can be there for our children.
Great, Madhuri. This was a great equation. We learned a lot today. I really loved the session today.
Right. Thank you so much, Lakshana Gopi. See you next week. And if you
Yeah.
have comments you'd like us to speak on a certain topic, then you can put the question in the comment box and we will, discuss about it.
Yeah, and this sessions are getting recorded, and I put up on the channel called Dharma Ashraya. So please do watch them. And yes, as Mataji said, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.